the story of Anthony Carter. Not LeBron, not Wade, not Shaq or Kobe. Anthony Carter, 13 years in the NBA. Career average? Just 5 points per game. Not a star, not even a household name. But in 2003, Anthony Carter made a mistake that changed the fate of the NBA forever. In 2003, the Miami Heat were in rebuild mode. Their bright spot? A rookie named Dwyane Wade, young, electric, full of potential. The team? Mediocre, but hopeful. Also on the roster, Anthony Carter, a backup guard on a multi-year deal worth $4.1 million. Now here's the twist. To stay with the Heat for one more year, Anthony just needed to send a fax. A simple document opting into the final year of his contract. But the fax never came. His agent forgot, or miscalculated, or just flat out fumbled the bag. That tiny mistake made Carter a free agent overnight. And more importantly, it freed up $4 million in Miami's salary cap. Narrator, VO. At first glance, not a big deal, but in the ruthless world of NBA cap space, $4 million can change everything. And it did. The Heat, now armed with extra money, signed Lamar Odom, a talented, versatile forward who brought spark, size, and flair to a struggling team. He only played one season in Miami, but that one season mattered more than anyone expected. In 2004, Shaquille O'Neal had worn out his welcome in Los Angeles. Phil Jackson was gone. The Kobe-Shaq feud had reached its boiling point. And the Lakers? They were ready to deal. The Heat traded Lamar Odom, along with a few pieces, for Shaq. It was bold, risky. Shaq was aging, Wade was still developing. But the pairing was magic. By 2006, Miami had their first championship, all thanks to a forgotten fax. And that was just the start. That same trade sent Lamar Odom to the Lakers. And in LA, he flourished. A sixth man of the year, Kobe's most trusted teammate, a glue guy in back-to-back championships in 2009 and 2010. Without Carter's mistake, maybe Lamar never ends up in purple and gold. Maybe Kobe doesn't get 5 rings. Maybe the Lakers dynasty ends early. Shaq's time in Miami didn't last forever. By 2008, the big man was traded to Phoenix for Shawn Marion. Then came another trade. Marion for Jermaine O'Neal. Jermaine left in 2010, taking his massive contract with him. Suddenly, the Heat had cap space. Not just for one superstar, but 2. And just like that, Miami landed LeBron James and Chris Bosh. A big 3 was born. From forgotten role player to fax machine to NBA super team. The chain was complete. But Wade almost never ended up in Miami. In fact, he was nearly a Raptor. The Heat were tanking in 2003. One final game stood between them and a better draft pick. A meaningless matchup versus the Toronto Raptors. But the Raptors were tanking too. It was a full-blown tank-off. And in the most ironically tragic way possible, Miami won. Rashul Butler, Ken Johnson, Vladimir Stepania. Role players caught fire. The Heat pulled off a meaningless comeback victory. The result? Toronto got the 4th pick, Miami got the 5th. Toronto drafted Chris Bosh. And the Heat? They took a young, raw shooting guard named Dwyane Wade. Had they lost that game, just one game, they'd have drafted Bosh. And Wade likely ends up a Toronto Raptor. No flash. Number 2006 Finals MVP. No Heat legacy. One meaningless win turned into the most meaningful one in franchise history. 2019 NBA Finals. Kevin Durant suffers a devastating Achilles injury. He would miss the entire 2019 to 2020 season. And in Brooklyn, a young guard named Caris LeVert stepped up. With KD out, LeVert got more minutes, more shots, and had the best year of his career. His breakout raised eyebrows, and his trade value. Then, in 2021, Brooklyn made a move. LeVert was sent to Indiana. Routine trade, nothing special, until his physical revealed something terrifying. A tumor on his kidney, cancerous, caught early, removed quickly. Caris was back on the court within months. Had Durant not gotten injured, LeVert never gets the spotlight, never raises his value, never gets traded, and maybe never finds the tumor. Kevin Durant's injury saved a life, but no butterfly effect compares to this. George Mikan, the original NBA GOAT, 6'10" in the 1940s, dominated the paint like no one before him. Years after retiring, Mikan became the first commissioner of the ABA, and he had an idea, a gimmick, a shot, worth more than two, the three-point line. Players ignored it, coaches mocked it, fans, they loved it. It wasn't until 1976, when the NBA merged with the ABA, that the three would begin to creep into the mainstream. Fast forward 40 years. Stephen Curry, Damian Lillard, Klay Thompson. The shot once seen as a sideshow is now the centerpiece. George Mikan, who never shot a three in his life, revolutionized the game without touching the arc. One forgotten fax, one fluke comeback, one missed game, one physical. All invisible threads in a web too complex to control. The smallest ripples creating tidal waves of history. Because in the NBA, nothing is random. Everything is connected. This is the butterfly effect. So the next time you hear a name like Anthony Carter, remember, it's not always the all-stars who change history. Sometimes, it's the bench warmers, the guys who barely made the rotation, the forgotten names who made unforgettable ripples. A missed fax, an accidental win, an injury no one wanted, a three-point shot born as a gimmick. Each moment felt insignificant in the present. But decades later, they rewrote the league's legacy. And that's what makes the NBA beautiful. It's not just about who scores the most. It's about who shows up, intentionally or not, and unknowingly sets the wheels in motion. Because history doesn't always ask for permission. It just happens, quietly, subtly, then suddenly, all at once. If this story moved you, if it made you see the NBA a little differently, then drop a like to let the algorithm know. Subscribe if you want more untold sports stories and deep dives into moments that changed everything. And tell us in the comments, what's your favorite NBA what if? What moment still keeps you up at night? This has been the Butterfly Effect. Until next time, stay curious, stay inspired, and never underestimate the power of a forgotten moment.